You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Alicia Menendez. We have so many comments streaming in right now. Please continue to keep them coming. We love when we see community participation, especially about issues that we care so much about. I want to draw your attention to this article. Arizona immigration law's most contentious section can now be enforced by police. A judge ruling. This is Arizona's SB 1070, Papers, Please legislation. It's going to allow the police, in fact, require the police to ask for people's immigration papers affirming their status here in the United States. Now, one thing you may not have heard about this is how unsafe it makes communities. Joining us to discuss this, we have Daniela Cruz. She's a dreamer from Arizona, a student at Grand Canyon University. Our own Elise Foley, a reporter with the Huffington Post covering immigration issues. Erika Andiolaand, she is an activist for undocumented youth and a dreamer from Arizona. And Paul Penzone, he's a retired police officer from Phoenix. He's running for sheriff in Maricopa County against Sheriff Joe Arpaio. It would be awesome if Native Americans in Arizona went around harassing white people for their papers. Know your place, people. And then we have this comment from Digital who says, can we ask ourselves who lived in Arizona before 1776? It certainly wasn't the relatives of Joe Arpaio. Funny enough. Erika, would you feel comfortable if there was a domestic dispute next door among citizens of the United States? Would you feel comfortable calling the police?
Definitely not. I mean, just like you said, I think Daniela and I are in a different spot because we're dreamers. Not only that, but because we're advocates and we're activists. We have gotten to a point where, they're not going to pick us up because we have that community behind us. But there's a really smart percentage of people in Arizona that are like us, and the majority of our community are, they're under the shadows still. They're still hiding from the police. They're still hiding from the sheriff. And this is not the first time that this happens. We've been going through this for years now with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. My family was actually raided in 2008. My house was raided, and we had to hide from them because it's just really scary to know that your family can be deported.
Elise, you had pushback about whether or not this actually goes into effect. So give me some hope that this never sees the light of day.
One thing that is a slight piece of hope for people who oppose this law is that now, when it goes into effect, you'll be able to start analyzing whether racial profiling actually begins to take place. The case could, it's not saying that in the future no cases could come up again. So if you are able to establish evidence, if the Department of Justice keeps watching this, as they will, and is able to find evidence that racial profiling is happening, then another case could come up and you could end the law in that way.
There's also the issue of the relationship between police officers and the undocumented community, and that manifests in a few ways. First of all, you have police officers who signed up to be domestic first responders now all of a sudden handling immigration cases that have normally been the work of ICE. Secondarily, you have a situation where if you are an undocumented immigrant and you, for example, see a hit and run, there is no incentive for you staying and cooperating with the police because the police now become enemy number one. Daniela, I want to ask you, do you feel safe and comfortable talking with the police in your community in Arizona?
To me, it's very hard to answer that because myself and my community, we don't feel safe anymore. It's to the point where if something happens to us, if we call the police, what's going to happen to us? Are they going to act like immigration, or are they going to act like they're supposed to act and actually help us out? Which there has been a lot of cases where they call the police, and instead of the police going there to do what they're supposed to do, they get the people and they take them to immigration when they were the ones who called and they were the ones who reported a crime.
There's a great reason for us to be concerned, and I'll give you an example. While I was still with the Phoenix Police Department, I was involved in a program that received tips to solve cases, and we developed a program called Testigo Silencioso, which was the Spanish-speaking version of that same program. And what we saw was a greater response from the Spanish-speaking community to support our efforts to solve crimes. When SB 1070 came into effect, what we saw was the complete opposite, a decline, because there was a lack of trust and confidence from those in the Hispanic community who were fearful of other things such as deportation. So inevitably what it did is it allowed for criminals to continue on their path, knowing they would not be held accountable by others who came from the Hispanic community that could play a part in solving those crimes. So it definitely is a detrimental element to the safety of our community.